Hello and welcome to Two Blokes Racing.
Welcome to another video. Thanks for continuing to watch.
Yep, thanks to all the new subscribers.
This video is about how you can buy your own race car on a budget. So we're going to document all the costs and how you can do it as cheaply as possible and what other options you've got as well.
Yeah, hints and tips on buying a good cheap racer.
So there's a few places to look for cars. Auto Trader is not a good place for race cars. It's more set up for track cars. You do get some with cages and some other mods, but they're not to the MSA standards, so they don't have the right, extinguishers and other things you need. So I wouldn't suggest going there.
They're more boy racer, fast road track cars.
Yeah. But if you do want to look on there, just put in something like cage in the search, and then at least you'll get the relevant ones. eBay's quite good. So if you type in race car, that's probably the best search term. Seems to come up with a lot of actual race cars that have raced over the past season. There might be like MGZR race series, there's MR2, Cup, Pumas, what else? Clios, all that sort of thing.
KA.
Yep. Citroen C1, because there's a lot of race series that are budget like those, and you can pick them up on eBay for about, I guess, 2 to 6 grand. This is basically what you get, and later in the year is better, so after the season has finished you'll find a lot more cars on here. So you can see for 2,800 quid you can get what looks like a pretty decent BMW compact. There's another BMW there, Honda Prelude, MGZR, there's an MG Trophy race series, so there's quite a lot of these coming up, and they're all around £3,000 to £4,000. So they look quite good and they're built to the regulation. And then you've got MX-5s, they're always a very good buy as well, very well priced and really quite competitive as well and good fun. So they're all around about 4 grand as well. There's quite a few here. And then you've got the MR2s, so you can get the Mark II or the Mark III, and either one is around about £4,000 to £5,000. Here we've got an MR2 Roadster. So this raced again in the 750 Motors Club Championship and sold for 3,895. So that's a pretty good price for what that is, it seems. Yeah, seems to have a lot of good spec there as well. It's got a limited slip diff, switchable power steering and ABS, which is good to be able to switch those off. Coilovers, good brakes. Not bad at all really. If you want to spend up to 4 grand, I'd say that would be a very good buy. Clios, you can see there, 4.5. That's quite a good price for a Clio if that's built to the regulations. And then you've got Honda Preludes. Again, MGZR race car. See, there's quite a good choice of these. And then there's the Citroen C1 racing series. So those cars will also come up about this time in the year. They're surprisingly expensive for what they are, but then they are reasonably new and they're probably quite reliable, and it's a very good fun cheap race series to go into. So I think if you've got 5 grand to spend, you've got quite a good choice. You have to look a bit harder if you want to spend 3 grand or less. I think we're pretty lucky, to be honest, and Pumas do seem to be one of the cheapest ones you can buy for a car that's built to specification to race. Minis are a little bit dearer, so they're about 7 grand, and surprisingly Fiesta ST150s, they're also probably 6 grand plus. There's a Fiesta race series, and those cars are all around about 7 or 8 grand. We spoke to one of the guys that's heavily involved in that and modifies a lot of those cars and sells them, and yeah, he's verified those prices and said yeah, you won't really find anything that's decent for less than about £7,000. And then it goes on. The other place to buy race cars, a good place, is join some Facebook track groups. So one is called Track Time, that's really good. There's a Track Time Classifieds, definitely recommend that. Race Cars for Sale is another one, and just search for those sort of things. There's quite a lot of good cars in there, cheap. Yeah,
they're exactly what you're looking for. They're people like us, and they've either done it and they're upgrading to a bigger, better car, or they've done it, and their wives have finally told them, no, you're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
And the bit we've missed, stalk them on Facebook. If you find it on Facebook, put their name in, put something similar, and go and stalk them. See what posts you can find. See if they've posted that, this car's always got issues, it's always breaking down.
Yeah.
And check out and try and get some history that way.
A lot of things are dated as well, so the harness is dated, I think, for 5 years. Depends when you buy them, so just check that. Same for the seat as well. That's dated. Yeah, you need to just sell them to someone that's going to put a nice race seat in a road car.
Yeah, or use them for your passenger seat if you do track days.
And the fire extinguisher is also dated as well, so you have to get that refreshed and just checked that it's all up to scratch.
Yeah, you don't need a new one, you can get it refreshed. When we priced up buying a car, stripping it and getting it race ready versus getting a cheap race car that's ready, they were all coming out roughly £3,000.
So yeah, if you do up a car that's a standard production road car, like say a Clio, you can buy it for 1,500. It's probably got 100,000 miles or more on the clock. The cage, you don't have to have a full cage for the club racing we're doing at our level, but it's good to have it. And like half cage is a minimum 600 plus welding and fitting, so you're probably looking at over £1,000. Our cage in our car is a full cage going right behind the dashboard, and that apparently was by Custom Cages, and that was £2,000 just for the cage. So if you add that up, 1,500 for the car, then your cage, plus all your other mods you've got to do, like the extinguisher. You need to do a cut-off switch as well, and then obviously strip it all out. You can do that with your own labour, but it's definitely going to be £3,000 or more.
We're focusing on where you can find cars that are race ready. Clearly, if you want to strip it down and spend the time going into the detail of getting it race ready yourself, then you can use Auto Trader and find the cheap little cars that people are selling.
Yeah, buy a
but
good...
when we calculated it, it just didn't make sense. The roll cage alone usually puts you up near the price of getting a race ready one, where people have spent the money, but it doesn't actually give you the money back. So you might as well take someone else's
it's probably only
hard-earned investment.
Yeah, it's only worth doing that if you want to enjoy stripping the car and making it race ready yourself.
Yeah. But if you've got families like us, you probably won't have enough time to do it. It's hard enough for us to find time to do an oil change, never mind strip a car, paint it, put a roll cage in.
Yeah. Yeah, we would have liked to have done it ourselves, but you do need a lot more time.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you managed to do that for £3,000, you'd probably sell it for 2 or at least 1,500, so you wouldn't spend that much over the overall life of it.
And even today we were looking at, you can go and hire a car to race in a single race, and that costs around £2,000. So the cost of our car is the cost of just one race. So it's not going to lose money now. So. Yeah,
that's like the cheapest arrive and drive packages, like Citroen C1. It's going to be £2,000 a race. So yeah, this is very cost effective.
So that's how you can justify it to your wife.
Yep.
It's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, just play this video and get her to subscribe as well. It's always a good idea. One of the key points when you're buying a car is look at the power to weight ratio. A lot of race series are based on that, so you do need to sort of want to be at the highest point of your class on power to weight. So yeah, take a look at that, and that might be a factor.
And bear in mind that the stats for your car are at the flywheel, whereas in the race series it's at the wheels on a dyno. So there's a little bit of a difference there.
And also tyres. So if we went in the Puma Cup with it, you need Dunlop Direzzas. They're like the standard control tyre. You can only use those. Whereas other race series, say, look in the MSA handbook, and there's like tables 1A, BA, or 1A, 1B, or something like that. So just be careful. One
last thing is we saw quite a lot of adverts for race ready cars that were going for like 8,000 for cars that we'd equally looked at for 2,000, 3,000.
Yeah.
And you couldn't. they did look a better standard, but there's realistically, if you're an amateur, it wasn't going to make any difference to your race. They were just a race pedigree or slightly better equipment, but it didn't, certainly for what we want to do, it didn't justify being twice, 3 times the price of a more basic one that still had the same components, just of a different standard.
Thanks for watching again, guys. Have a look at our other videos that we've done. We've done quite a few now, and we've got loads more great content coming up that we're planning for this season. So yeah, stay tuned. Remember to
subscribe.
Always subscribe. If you don't know what that means, just click it.
It's just a notification.
Yeah, our vids will come up in your feed.
Yeah.
You'll just be more excited when you see it come up in the feed. You're like, oh, they've got another video out. I can't wait to watch it. It's amazing.
Or not.
Hopefully this gave you a good insight of what you can purchase, and hopefully you get into racing.
We look forward to seeing you on the track.
Yeah. So our next video shows about us actually buying our car, where we bought it, how the process of buying it worked, test driving it, bringing it home, all that sort of stuff. Hopefully that'll be a bit of an insight for what you're up against if you're new to all this.
And a bit about how mad my wife went when we were 2-3 hours later than we should have been.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's true.
I just didn't care. Is that good? Is that bad?
I don't know. I'm worried.